Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we're playing Black-Red Moonshadow Aggro. This deck features the new card from Lauren Eclipsed, which is a 7/7 for 1 black mana, but the catch is it has 6 -1/-1 counters, and you remove those whenever a permanent goes to your graveyard. And it also has Menace, which is evasion, which is really cool in a 1-drop. The best 1-drop in Legacy, Dragon Rage Chandler, is also here, and it is going to help us constantly put things into our graveyard so we can very quickly grow Moonshadow. We can also grow a Nethergoyf. I've got Seal of Fire in here as an enchantment type. I've got lots of artifacts in Lotus Petals and Mishra's Baubles, and I've got Street Wraith as a creature. We've got Instants and Bolts and Fatal Pushes. We've got a lot of cool things going on, and we've got a discard package so we don't completely lose to combo. We've got 4 Thoughtseize and 3 Hymns, and of course, since our deck is kind of virtually a 52 card deck instead of a 60 card deck, we should see these Hymns more likely than if we were just running 3 in a 60 card deck. Sideboard involves anti-graveyard stuff. Meltdown is really good right now against all the artifact strategies. Blood Moon is really good against big deck, like I'm thinking up the Beanstalk type strategies. I'm thinking anything that involves Karn. Then we've got a couple Disruptor Flutes, which can help with bad matchups like Doomsday. I'm not sure that Doomsday is a bad matchup, but Show and Tell is probably a bad matchup. We can get 3 Pyroblasts in, which I'm very excited about. And then we've got a couple more removal spells in the sideboard in case we go up against like a Barragoyf deck. But between being able to one-shot a Murktide and Barragoyf, granted they're 2 different removal spells, I think we do have a decent blue-black tempo matchup. Round 1 has already started. We're against an unknown opponent on the draw. Let's take a look at this hand. So this hand is, turn 1 Moonshadow, but then we can't do anything. It's just like chilling. It's vulnerable. The other option is turn 1 DRC. This seems like a good hand. I don't want to push it in terms of mana. We're going to go a little slower. We're on the draw anyway. My immediate instinct is to lead with DRC. But we don't have anything we can. It's not like we're playing Daze. They're looking at our top card. Swamp. Thoughtseize. Okay, that's good for us. The fact that they're doing damage to themselves. And we have a pretty redundant suite of cards. Nethergoyf will be fine too. It's worth noting that I did put a basic swamp in the deck that we can go get. But we don't have any basic mountains because who needs basic mountains? Right? Like Blood Moon, everything's a basic mountain. We'll just grab our swamp before we cast Blood Moon. They're probably going to take DRC. That's what I would take. It's worth noting that our deck is extremely vulnerable to Leyline of the Void, which is why I decided to go ahead and put 4 Bowmasters in. Even though it's not really synergistic with the deck, it is an alternate win con. And they did take the DRC as I expected. So they get their card around Bowmasters. There's no reason to play this Badlands out. We can just go ahead and... I think I'm just going to play the Badlands, and if they want to waste us, they grow the Moonshadow. If they have a Bowmasters, we'll Bowmaster their Bowmaster. But not a lot we can do here. Fatal Push is potentially a nice pickup since we have a Revolt. If they have Bowmasters, it's pretty brutal. Okay, that's great. I'm very happy with the exchange. Moonshadow sees itself die. And it's like, wait, I need to get bigger while I die. It's falling into the grave slightly more stacked. Okay. I think this is just Moonshadow, fetch, Nethergoyf. They didn't have a second land. And I think I just get the other Badlands here so I don't get wasted off of black. That would be embarrassing. We're going to have a lot of pressure on the table. And we drew a second Bowmasters, which probably doesn't matter if our opponent's on a mono black deck. But may matter a great deal if they're on blue-black tempo. We're getting very lucky that they're breaking on land. They have another Nethergoyf of their own. This will just get pushed. They don't seem to have any mana to defend themselves from a day. They don't have days. As far as I can tell, they don't have blue in their deck. So it looks like they're playing mono-black aggro, which is what I love playing. I could have Bowmaster there, but I do want to just clear this so I can get through. The pedal's pretty sweet. This does grow our Goyf. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and push. And then I'll just deploy the Bowmaster's main phase to get the extra toughness or the extra power on both Moonshadow and Nethergoyf. Yeah, if I'd known that I was going to draw the pedal, I would have just punished their draw off that card, but we didn't know that. Taking 7, they're 10. Pretty brutal. They did draw a land. It's going to hurt them, though. They have more Nethergoyfs. They can stall me out, but they need probably 2 Nethergoyfs here. Douthie is a good card against us in general, but it's not going to help them here. It can't even block, so they're dead on board. Especially once I Bowmaster them. All right, let's come in. 4 lethal. This deck does definitely punish missteps. All right, so against mono black, Leyline of the Void comes in. They could be on Moonshadow, and it's very good against Moonshadow. I also expect them to have Leyline of the Void against me, unfortunately. Not a lot I can do there. I am going to bring in the Fatal Pushes here. Cards that I can cut would definitely be Thoughtseize. Like Leyline of the Void's in play at the beginning of the game, so it can't help. Seal of Fire is pretty good, though, because they do have 2 toughness creatures like Douthie that I can go after, and it grows my Goyfs if they don't Leyline me. Yeah, like let's just go through the list of cards that get completely shut off by Leyline. Moonshadow, Nethergoyf, DRC. It's pretty brutal. Like basically our entire offensive. So if they have Leyline and we don't, it's absolutely brutal. I mean, we could get up to 5 mana and cast a Street Wraith. I think I'm going to cut some Wastelands. I suspect they don't have anything to waste. And that does bring my mana lower, but I'm on the draw. I'll keep the hymns in. Let's do it. And I did consider putting Douthie in the sideboard. I absolutely could have. But I thought the Blast would be better. But Douthie would be really good in this matchup because it's something that's unaffected by Leyline of the Void. So if they have Leyline of the Void, I'll see whether they mulligan. They kept. I think it's less likely that they have it. They may not have even brought it in. I'm going to keep. Please don't Leyline me. They do. Ouch. That sucks. We do have a lot of burn in our hand. Okay, we can still filter through our deck with DRC, but it's going to be a rough one. Okay, Nethergoyf's out. I might just Seal of Fire him now before he grows. That's a clean use of this card. I kind of want to hold the Fatal Push for later. Yeah, it sucks to do this, but like they're going to have better targets for Fatal Push. How does Revolt work? If it left the battlefield, right? Okay, so it doesn't matter that there's a Leyline out there. Okay, yeah, I'll just go ahead and do this, and I don't think they can do anything about it. Okay, because it doesn't matter if it goes to the graveyard because it's my graveyard. Okay. Douthie. Okay, I can bolt that. What I'll probably do is I'll DRC first, and then I can get a Surveil trigger off bolting it. Or I could just fail push it. Oh, of course, we drew the Leyline. That will be good, like if the game goes on. No, it won't be great. I'm not going to be wasting them. I think the play I want to make here is just bolt this because I can kill Beargoyf with Fatal Push, and that might be their next threat. So I'm going to go ahead and DRC. Then I'll just grab a Badlands. I could wait. I actually think it's fine to wait. They're not going to like draw days or something, and that'll give me more information. Like if they play something that has to be bolted. All right, I think I just bolt here. I don't need to take this damage. Because if we Surveil, I don't want to Lotus Petal. I'm looking for like permanent mana sources because I would like to play this Leyline of the Void eventually. They've only got 2 types. Another Douthie. Okay, there's a decent chance that I'll need to use my push on that. But it can't block. Okay, Nethergoyf does absolutely nothing here for the rest of the game. I'll play this out. I guess I just attack. And I can wait and maybe they do something that plays into Orcish Bowmasters in some positive way. I mean, I could play this out. It doesn't do anything though. I think I'd rather keep up the ability to do 2 things next turn. Okay, so Wasteland. Yeah, that happens. I should have probably interacted there. I do want to hold the Fatal Push for another turn cycle. So I'll just take this damage. Okay. And I think they probably have a Bowmaster, but I just don't feel like I have a choice here. Like the game's going to get worse for us the longer it goes. Because they have a graveyard and we don't. I think I do cycle the Street Wraith, sadly. I don't think we're ever going to get to 5 mana. Hopefully they don't Bowmaster right now. Okay. Well, the good news is, do we have Revolt? It doesn't really matter. I'll wait another turn cycle for the Fatal Push, but because I have a second Fatal Push, I can now push this, and they clearly don't have, what's it called in their hand? Barragoyf. Barragoyf. Okay, so we're actually like doing okay life-wise. I'm just going to pass. We'll get as much information as we can before we cast this Fatal Push. Yeah, I didn't think they were going to go for it, but like I think it's probably worth just mulling for on my side. Yeah, him doesn't do anything with the current hand. I'd rather draw a land. Or another Bowmasters would be fine too. That would help scale up our threats. Fatal Push on that. That's great. Bobble? Okay, well that's why they wanted to get rid of that, so they can bobble through. That makes sense. And this will grow future Goyfs, unfortunately. Dark Ritual. Okay. And unfortunately, like I have Revolt this turn, so if they have Douthie or they bury right now, I can't do anything about it. Oh, they're just bringing Nethergoyf back? Yeah, that's fine. Again, one of the things that I would potentially be able to deter if I had Leyline of the Void, but I don't. So this is a 3/4. I'm just going to go ahead and do this so I can go ahead and attack through. We get a Surveil. I don't think I keep this, sadly. I have the mana I need to cast a... yeah, there's nothing I'm drawing to. I'm not get, like the Leyline of the Void is too late. I think. I think the odds of winning this game are extremely small. Like really, I'm just looking for more Bowmasters. And I'm looking for them to just brick, like draw a bunch of lands. Moonshadow. Bobble. Okay, that's a good thing to pair with your Moonshadow. Moonshadow is already going to be attacking us for more than we can attack them. So we're losing the race at this point. We're ahead by a little bit, but we could draw a Bolt for Moonshadow right now. That would be good. Could they draw Badlands? I guess I can just play this out as a chumper. And then I could pass. I mean, I could like multi-block it, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wait for them to attack, and then I'll attack them back. We'll just hope that they don't get like a giant Moonshadow going. Wasteland. They can waste one of our lands. They waste the untapped one. That's fine. Moonshadow is attacking for 3 now, so we're losing the race. If I get 2 Nethergoyfs, I can block it once. Yeah, this Leyline was extremely strong, needless to say. I think I will be mulligan. Now that I see Moonshadow, I'm just going to mulligan for it. They have Douthie, which we could draw a Fatal Push right now and then waste our own waste to turn on Revolt. That doesn't seem good. Yeah, we can block for a turn, but they gain so much life. I'm done with this one. Okay. So what did we learn? I feel confident that my assessment of taking Thoughtseizes and Wastelands out was correct. I think they may not aggressively mull to Leyline. Yeah, I mean, like our deck doesn't improve with anything in our sideboard, and I don't think it's correct to bring in Thoughtseize here. So I'm just going to mull until I get Leyline, and they're probably going to do the same. And whoever gets Leyline probably wins, assuming they still have a functional hand. I do think we're more vulnerable to Leyline than they are. We don't have Barragoyf in our 75 at all, because I just wanted to be really low to the ground. I don't have Dark Ritual. I'm just using Lotus Petal. But if DRC, like in rounds where we're not getting Leyline, DRC and Moonshadow will be like PB and J. It'll be like an insane sandwich. Maybe a BLT would be better, or Reuben or something. Not PB and J. That's not an insane sandwich. I think I'm going to keep this just on the strength of Leyline. We'll take the Slow Train. And we have 17 lands, but we also have 4 petals. We don't have 17. We have 15 lands. They didn't have it. That's huge. We'll go ahead and use this. This is the first no-lander I've kept in a while. I'm not proud of it, but yeah, they have Dark Ritual. So they have Dark Ritual into like Barragoyf. That's going to be pretty brutal. We did get a land. Hopefully they don't him it out of our hand. Dark Ritual. Moonshadow. Douthie. Okay, Douthie is like Leyline of the Void, so I will be pushing that. And it will not trigger Moonshadow, thankfully. Yeah, I think it's just Fatal Push on this. But we can wait. I don't think there's any disadvantage of waiting. Thankfully, they didn't play Wasteland there. Hopefully, they don't have another Douthie, but I do have another Fatal Push. So we'll just keep doing this until we can establish like graveyard. We'll take one. They fetch. Yeah, it doesn't work with Leyline in, as you're finding out, opponent. Leyline is indeed very good. Oh, no. All right. Well, hopefully we draw a land and we can do something other than just push this turn because it's not a... Oh, we did. That's really good. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and play the Nethergoyf and then I'll push. Play the DRC and push. And then, yeah, I'm putting something into the void, but at least I'm getting some information for it. Because, was that correct? We could have waited and maybe gotten a Delirious so we wouldn't die to Bowmaster. I think I punted there. Yeah, I feel pretty confident that I just punted by playing this out. Nethergoyf would have been a much better, safer bet here because of Bowmaster. I mean, I feel like we're very favored here, but I could still lose, and it would be humiliating to do so given our current situation. Okay, they are attacking with both. That's fine. I'm going to go ahead and just push again. Hopefully I don't have any more of these because I don't have any more solutions to these. Okay, so we can't put this in the graveyard. They're going to Bowmaster like I predicted, and I'm going to look like a freaking fool, and I am a fool. But I do get the trigger. Yeah, I like it. Nethergoyf would have been so much better there. It's not even funny. I'm very embarrassed. Okay, so we get to Surveil. Bobble, that definitely goes to our exile, I guess, technically. I don't care. I don't want to draw it because there's a Bowmaster on the table. I'll take one. You just imagine having like a Nethergoyf out instead of having nothing. That's basically what I did there. I think this might be a him moment. Because they don't have a lot of pressure. Oh, this is nice. I can him and Nethergoyf. So I'm going to go ahead and him first. Okay, what do we get? They drew the ley line. That's unfortunate for them. But we did get a Fatal Push, which is nice because I do want to deploy my Nethergoyf here. I will continue to get bad lands to reduce the likelihood of them wasting me off red. And now, next turn, we can attempt to Bowmaster their Bowmaster, and if they crack like a clue or something, or crack a bobble, then we can draw through. Or then we can Bowmaster their draw. They only have one good attack here, so we've kind of held back their offensive. They will eventually be able to cast Leyline of the Void, but my Nethergoyf will already be pretty big, assuming they can't clear it. The Moonshadow's fine. They're never going to be able to get rid of this unless they... Oh, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, so their hand is empty, and it's not good. This Verdant Catacombs is fine. I'll just play it out. And I'm going to go ahead and attack and see if I can get like a multi-block and blow it out. Why would they multi-block? It makes no sense. Yeah. I am going to wait and just see if they, like, let's say hypothetically they do have a way to draw. It'll be nice to Bowmaster it. Or if they Thoughtseize, then I can Bowmaster. That's unfortunate. I can bring it back, though. I've got 5 types. All right. So just go ahead and do this now, I think. Save some life. I'll just ping these because they're harder to block. I think maybe I just want to trade off here. I definitely want to kill this in case they draw another one. I think it's fine to just trade these off. I'm going to be bringing back Goyf next turn. I don't have a Surveil, but I don't really want to draw land here. Bad lands. Okay. Let's draw an organic draw. Bolt is nice. I'll hold it for later. Okay. So let's get Nethergoyf, and we're going to get a land, a sorcery, an instant, and a creature. No, I'll get... Yeah, I'll get a creature, I guess. So it's back. And we'll pass. So again, Beargoyf would be a 3/4, which is pretty big. It's bigger than my Bolt. Thankfully, they don't seem to have it. Yeah, I'm actually really scared of Beargoyf. I need to kill them quickly before they draw it. They may have all 4 of them in there. So I'll let that keep hitting me because I need to be able to clear a Douthie. Okay, this is good because this is another type. No, it's not another type, unfortunately. Let's see what they're drawing. Don't be Beargoyf, please. Oh, it's a Wasteland. Yeah, that's fine. Let's come across. Wait, I do have instant, so this doesn't help. But I can like kind of break the clock with it if I need to. Moonshadow will not grow. They have Feed the Swarm. That is the one thing they could bring in. Costs a lot of life. It could clear the ley line, but even after they did that, they still have a lot of work to get their creatures big. So they're backstreeting. I can even cast another ley line if I find it. They put a Bauble in exile. I draw from my Bauble. That's a good card. I'm going to continue to hold removal and just be unafraid of this Moonshadow clapping me every turn. They don't have Kaito in the deck or anything. By the way, I would recommend you always play the Undercity Sewers in your mono black deck because it's commonly played in decks that look similar, like blue-black tempo, the most played deck in the format. All right, so let's do this. It's not Delirious yet. I could get some cool stuff into my yard if I just go ahead and bolt them now. I think I will. See if we can make this Goyf a little bigger. Bowmasters grows the Goyf. It gets Delirium. I think that's fine here. All right. And I think fundamentally my opponent misappraised like Leyline of the Void. Once they saw how powerful it was against me, they should have mulled to it. And that's why they're winning. Okay, this is fine. That's why we're winning right now, is because they didn't mull aggressively to Leyline. And because we had the Leyline, even though it was a no-lander, it turned out to be fine. We got lucky and drew the lands. Our opponent's on a 2-turn clock. I'll go ahead and play this out. I don't think it hurts. Just to ensure that nothing can happen. This will give me a nice DRC trigger in the process. Bolt can stay on top of the deck. That's a nice escape valve in case we have to race another Nethergoyf. All right, we'll come across. Right, they sack the Moonshadow. So they're dead next turn to Bolt, even if they draw a Beargoyf. They waste. Beargoyf is good, but it is not good enough because I have Bolt. All right, everybody pack your ley lines. Right, round 2. We're up against Critical Control. They could absolutely have Leyline and the Void in their sideboard as well. Let's take a look at this hand. I mean, it just doesn't set the world on fire for me. I don't think we keep this. It does not spark joy having essentially 5 mana sources in my 19 or 21 mana source deck. There we go. This is the Moonshadow hand we've been waiting for. So we have Moonshadow and then we can grow it. I'm going to keep this. This is probably just grab Swamp just to be sure. They are a Wasteland deck. Card that goes back is one of these hymns. Yeah, we may not draw a land, and I don't want to be hitting their dorks. Or I do want to be hitting their dorks with Orcish Bowmaster. That's why I wanted to keep that around. So let's go ahead and just get our Swamp and Moonshadow here. And then I can hold on the Street Wraith. There's no reason to hold on the Street Wraith. I should have actually... Yeah, I'm just going to play this out. And then I'll use the Street Wraith immediately. And if I find a bobble, then I can use it, which will be nice just to get it out of the way. So we'll always yield on this. Draw. Another Moonshadow. Okay. We'll see what we get next turn. But we're going to be hitting for at least 2 probably. I really want to find a land so I can... Oh, that's brutal. That's a really good card against us. I need to clear that. A Bolt, please, or something. All right, so here, I do think we just Moonshadow. I don't think we're going to win a long game, and getting a lot of Moonshadows on the table gets us somewhere, whereas Thoughtseize them, they've already got a really strong board presence here. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and double my Moonshadow. And we'll swing for 2 and we'll pass. I think we're probably going to lose this one. This is usually in the green-white version, which has Plow and a lot of other nasty stuff. We'll see. But we didn't draw land, unfortunately. So we are a little gated on what we can do. If we draw a second land, I probably just him. I mean, if you look at Moonshadow, even in last game, it was still like a 1/1 with Menace for 1 mana. It's not terrible, even if it isn't able to level up. It did probably at least 6 or 7 points of damage to me. So here, this can't block, but they can go get the other guy and block with it, the tree guy, Dryad Arbor. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to Moonshadow again. And if I lose one in combat, the other ones will grow. I really wish I could do something other than this, but I am going to keep attacking with all of them, knowing that they can get stuff to disrupt it. They're just letting it through. That's great. All right, so are we going to get Dark Depths? What are they going to do here? We don't have an answer to Dark Depths other than just putting a DRC out and chumping. All right, they have black mana now. There's the Dark Depths. Do they have the Hex Mage? They could use their Hex Mage to take the counters off of a Moonshadow for me. Unfortunately, it's looking like we're dead here. Our deck did not give us the second land, but like it was under no obligation to give us the land. I mean, I kept a 1-lander. So this doesn't even matter. Like I can't think of a way we survive here. Yeah, Fatal Push, we can't destroy that even though it's technically Fatal Pushable. I think I just concede here. All right. Blood Moon gets in for sure. I think it's really good here. Fatal Push is going to be good against... Well, actually, so they're on Turbo Depths. Disruptor Flute could name the right thing, but it could also whiff. Like we could name Hexcatcher, and then they have the stage. Not Hexcatcher. Not Hex Drinker. What is it? Hex Mage. That Hex. Okay. So cards that are not good. Seal of Fire is not good. Yeah, I think there's a decent chance they bring in ley lines if they have it. Yeah, I mean, because everybody has ley lines because of oops all spells, it does make this deck kind of poorly positioned structurally. Yeah, Blood Moon, I don't actually like Fatal Push here. The reason is they probably only have 2 creatures in the entire deck. They probably just have the Elvish Reclaimers and the other things, which I can poke the other things and I can bolt the Reclaimers, assuming that it hasn't gotten out of hand. So I can pull those, and then I could bring Seal of Fire back in. I could bring this in to try to, but they're Turbo Depths, so they are going to try to turbo this. Again, the problem is there are 2 different ways of enabling the monster. And the Hex Mage will never come out until it's safe to bring it out. So it's not like they're not just going to like leave it out there twisting in the wind for us to push. I think Disruptor Flute is warranted here. Seal of Fire answers both of those threats. That Bolt does too. Assuming it doesn't grow. But if it grows, if Elvish Reclaimer is a 3/4, then nothing answers it really. I'm trying to think if there's anything dead, like truly dead, that we can take out. I don't think Thoughtseize is dead, even though they're a land-based combo. We're on the play. Bowmaster is pretty dead. I think I'm going to take out Bowmaster. And it's also a 2-drop. I'd rather have Seals of Fire. Maybe I would take them all out. Again, like I guess it could, in theory, if they are naive enough to put it out there, the Hex Mage, I could ping it. It just doesn't feel like where we want to be. It doesn't play into our plans. I think I'm going to take it out in favor of Fatal Push, which is cheaper and more flexible for removing elves as well as Hex Mages. This is a good hand. I like this. So I think this is DRC to start with. And then we can hold the bauble. We can Moonshadow the next turn, and we can do a lot of stuff with that. And we can also hold up a Wasteland. Yeah, I'm going to keep this. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our... I can actually use the trigger from the bauble now and get deeper into my deck. But it's probably fine to just wait. All right. And their deck doesn't really... It's a very linear deck. I don't believe it interacts with us. Maybe it does. But Wasteland's like the best thing you can do against their deck. They're almost certainly just going to try to get a Pithing Needle and name Wasteland immediately. So we're just going to try to race them with Moonshadow. They Thoughtseize, they're going to take our Moonshadow, I bet. But like Nethergoyf's not bad from this position either. Okay, they took the Moonshadow. That gets us closer to Delirium. They're respecting the new card. And we drew another one. Well, I think we float this out. Here, check this out. So I'm going to go Moonshadow. This has the potential to get bigger than Nethergoyf. Go ahead and play this out. Trigger. I'll put any permanent in the yard. Literally anything. That goes to the yard. Okay, grows the Moonshadow. Now we are going to go ahead and take a look at their top card, since we already know ours. This grows the Moonshadow. They are drawing a Vampire Hexmage. Okay. So they could put that out and we wouldn't be able to interact because... No, when they sacrifice it, we could waste. Okay. It's fine. So this grows again. Let's go ahead and attack. We didn't get Delirium, unfortunately. But we will be hitting for a lot next turn. We get a card. It's another Goyf. Probably not really great. Like, again, if they float the thing out, I'm going to bolt it just to get the trigger and get it out of the way so I can attack in. I do want to get Delirium on my DRC. There are situations where it's tactical to like not get Delirium until after combat so that you can potentially block if they have it. Yeah, they're just not playing anything out. Okay. So I think here... Gosh, I want to get Delirium so bad. This gives me Delirium. I am going to bolt them. Okay, let's bin a permanent, hopefully. We don't. But I already have a bolt. I'm just going to bin it. Now we'll attack for 6. It'll be interesting to see whether we can race them. This Wasteland is kind of our ace in the hole. But if they are able to needle it, then we can't do anything. They're at 8. So they're dead next turn. They're 7. Like, even if they put the blocker out, I think they're dead because maybe not. Okay, they're crop rotating. They're thinking about crop rotating. Well, I know you have a crop rotation now. Crop rotation is good. I'm going to set the stop here just in case, like, we have a window to waste something good here. Urborg. I don't think this is the waste, but we could waste here. And then they can't do it. Like, we waste here. Then there's no way. And like, they can't play 2 lands in 1 turn. And this denies them mana. I'm going to do it. Okay, they have something going on here. What's this black mana for? A Fatal Push? No? Okay, they just don't use it. I think they might die now. Okay, we got it. All right. Yeah, I like that a lot. Seal of Fire is a permanent that can go to the yard. It feels better than push. Yeah, I think we keep it. And again, it'll be a miracle if we get Blood Moon out, but if we get Blood Moon out, like, we're in a very good... Like, I doubt they have enchantment disruption in their hand. Oh, man. So this is like a hand where it's like a double bobble trigger off DRC, but it just doesn't feel fast enough for me. We're probably going to get punished for mulling. I mean, this is way better. So I think this is... We put back the land, and maybe we draw another land. But yeah, I'm going to do that. Because the pedal, it's a pretty good hand. Like, this Nethergoyf will be pretty big when all is said and done. And if they just play like a Elvish Reclaimer, I can go ahead and seal it. Okay, we drew another land. That's pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and play this out. I think I'm going to go ahead and play this out too, just in case I need to use it. I'm going to go ahead and play out the Moonshadow. I think I just want to go ahead and cycle immediately. See what I find. Bolt. We have Bolt next turn. I think I just want to get my Goyf on the table here so we have extra damage. Okay, and then we have some burn that we can use to burn through our opponent. I am afraid that they'll have like crop rotation into like a very quick kill. This deck we're up against is very dangerous unless you're like a plow deck. Then it's comically easy to beat it. They're crop rotating. So if they have, yeah, they could present next turn. Sadly, I don't have the Wasteland. Like, all the power on the table doesn't really matter if they just, they're going to play the freaking thing. And there was no window where I could have interacted, but we lose. They're just making it right now. I don't have any answers in my deck, unfortunately. Yeah, this is just kind of like a plow check deck. Like, you got plow, you got solitude, you got so many things. If this dies, you got K command, Cosmic's command. How many decks play it? Of course, we draw the Wasteland, but it doesn't matter. Good games. And just a quick note about the deck, like, you could mull aggressively to try to find a Wasteland, but they often have turn 1 Pithing Needle to protect. They play like 4 Pithing Needles specifically to protect against Wasteland. And once they have that out, then you've mulled a whole lot and you don't have any plan because you were just desperately looking for a Wasteland. Right, round 3, we're 1-1. We're up against a likely Doomsday gamer. I like our deck. It's very well positioned against Doomsday. So I think this is just Moonshadow. And then we can Street Wraith after Moonshadow is resolved. Turn 2 could be a Bowmasters if we wanted to. They mulled to 6. They often do just like nowadays. Doomsday is just like Dark Ritual Doomsday. Like, that's what they're looking for, unfortunately. It is no longer a tempo deck in my experience. It is just like a turbo combo deck. So I'll get the Badlands here. I don't think they're going to be wasting us. Play at the Moonshadow. I'm going to go ahead and Street Wraith immediately in case I find other things I can do here. We do. I'll play this out. Now I have Fatal Push Up in case they do like a really rapid pile and they don't clear the pile completely. This also gives me Bowmaster around Daze next turn, which is pretty clutch. Okay, they fetch. Tamio, that's fine. Okay, DRC, let's think about this. So we definitely want a Bloodstained Mire here. I would like to Fatal Push Tamio. I could DRC, fetch, Fatal Push Tamio, get triggers along the way, and then hit for a lot. I like that. Let's go ahead and fetch. Grows the Moonshadow. Badlands. Push. Again, I could have deployed a Bowmaster here, but I just like growing my Moonshadow. That goes in the yard. It's probably too late to the party. I don't think they're going to be playing main deck. Let's see. Yeah, and then I can crack the Petal just to grow it and to get Delirium. No, I don't think that's correct. I think I just attack for 4 and I hold the Petal. And then we have Daze Protected Bowmaster next turn. We did hit for 4 and next turn DRC will become Delirious. So I'll use the Petal for something. Okay, another Tommy. All right, that's fine. Okay, this is great. So I can just use this instead of the Petal if I would like. This will go to the yard. Grows the Moonshadow. This comes in. Go ahead and look at their top. Grows the Moonshadow. They're drawing a Marsh Slats. I think I just come in with both of them here. I could go ahead and deploy a Bowmaster proactively just to get an extra damage here. Maybe I do that in combat after they've made the decision about whether to block. That way, yeah, because I think it's extremely unlikely they block here. But if they did, then, you know. Okay, so what I'll do here is I'm just going to go ahead and do this, even though I don't really like using it this way. But it does grow the Moonshadow. Okay, they're fetching. They may have a Brainstorm here. No, they're just surveilling. Okay, they're about to take a ton of damage. They're about to go to 3. And I've got a Bowmasters out. This is just insane. This is our turn 3. So it's not like a turn 3 goldfish, but like practically, yeah, they scoop. All right, against them, I do kind of like Blood Moon. I mean, it like really screws them. No, I don't think that's right. I do like Pyroblast. Do I? Yeah, I mean, it stops the spell on the stack. I'm going to bring it in. I'll take out the seals. I've been kissed by a rose. I love Seal. I'm sorry. I grew up in the 90s when I saw like Batman Forever and heard the Kissed by a Rose song by Seal. I was just like, man, that's like the most That warms my, cold, dead, like 13-year-old boy heart. You know what I'm saying? That song. Anyway, I won't attempt to sing it. So cards, we could cut a land. We don't need the Fatal Push, I don't think, because we have Tamiyo covered here. We could bring in the Blood Moon just in case. I mean, it'd be freaking awesome if we did Blood Moon them if the game goes long. And yeah, it's not inconceivable that we could get it out. It feels wrong though. I don't like, they have pedals, they have LEDs, they could potentially win through this. I don't think it's correct. I think I'll keep a Fatal Push in. No, you know what? I'm going to keep the Seal of Fire in because that turns on Revolt. It turns on a lot of stuff. And direct damage against Doomsday, not a bad card. Not a bad strategy. Okay, so here we've got a pretty solid hand here. It's disruptive with Thoughtseize. So what I'll do is I will Thoughtseize immediately. They may just Dark Ritual Doomsday. And then if they Dark Ritual Doomsday, then we have to figure out, okay, is the strategy going to be Wastelanding them? Most likely that will be, but we'll try to do some land counting and stuff and figure that out. But one of the reasons is, okay, so they're Dark Ritual Doomsdaying off a basic, so we're dead. Like, I don't think there's any world in which we survive this. All right, let's take a look. So I use Buffalo Chicken Dip FOP as my acronym. B's for Brainstorm. We see 4 Brainstorm. Interesting. Feed the Cycle is in here. No, this is just like a removal spell. I mixed this up with Feed the Swarm. I see a Street Wraith. I only see 1 Street Wraith. So I think that they have... Oh, interesting. They don't have the LED in. I think they have time. They think they have time. And they probably do have enough time. We can look at their sideboard strategy is to bring in a Merc and a Bowmasters. That's it. It's like really light touch. And they have the 2 Tamiyos. Let's count their dazes. 1, 2, 3. Typical count. So I don't think they have a daze in their hand or in their pile. I only see 1 Force of Will. So their hand is 3 forces? If that's the case, then I can understand why they built this low pile. I don't see Oracle here. I don't see any pedals. No, wait, I see 1 pedal, but they probably played 3 is the typical count. They may have gone down, but I don't think they would have. So I think their hand is... I think they have a bunch of... They definitely have Oracle, and then they probably have 3 forces, and I guess I didn't check to see Ponder. All 4 Ponders are accounted for. Oh, they have Barragoyfs. I'm glad I noticed those. Yeah, that's another part of the sideboard strategy. They have Shield Edict and Feed the Cycle as their removal and a Fatal Push. Yeah. Okay. I feel pretty confident we're not going to win this game, but I'll try. I think the way we win is not by hanging back with like a Thoughtseize. I think the way we win is by going all in on probably Moonshadow. Moonshadow is the only card that's explosive enough to necessarily win. We could get DRC cracking for 3 though. Moonshadow could potentially go all the way up to like 4 next turn. Let's see. We bobble now. It goes to 2. Yeah, I'm going to try Moonshadow. Because I'm worried that DRC is just going to be a 1-1 next turn when we attack. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, it could be a 3-3. But I don't want to hold my bobble till next turn. I want to go ahead and use it. Let's go ahead and try this. Okay, they just let that resolve. I think they feel pretty confident they're going to just win next turn. Let's take a look at their top card. Now we get to draw. If they feel confident that they're just going to be able to win next turn, then, that's fine. But they're F6'd, even though they have a lot of forces. But they may not have forces. They may have boarded them out. So we go to their turn. Draw trigger. Pyroblast is pretty good. But I don't think we're going to get a turn. Oh, they are going to give us turns? Okay, sure. So we have Pyroblast. We have Thoughtseize to fight. 2 Thoughtseizes. So what I'm going to do... I don't think they have days, so I'm going to go ahead and Thoughtseize first. Okay, they are going to Bowmaster here. That is fine. This is 2 blockers, though. All right. Okay, they have a Murktide in hand, which they could cast. Not really. Tamio is another blocker. I think we just take a Tamio here. I can go ahead and play this out and take the other Tamio. They're not going to beat me through combat. I don't have good attacks with the Moonshadow. I think actually I deploy a second threat. I think I deploy the DRC. I think they're planning to just draw through, like turtle up and just draw through the deck. Nethergoyf is the bigger of the threats, but DRC flies. Then we can Pyroblast the other creature. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. Because they have like lots of chump blockers on the ground. I need to keep this Moonshadow alive. I'm not going to attack into that. Hopefully they don't have even more of these. If they had another one on top, that'd be pretty embarrassing. Okay, I think they might be going for it here. Consider, okay, they clear the pile. But they didn't have LED, did they? How are they going to win? Oh, Unearth. Unearth, that's sweet tech. That's sweet tech. Good game, opponent. So it wouldn't have mattered. To be clear, like the Pyroblast wouldn't have done it. Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize that they had that option. That's a really cool line. Okay, so now that we saw that they do have a lot of creatures, but they have basics and they actively fetch basics. So Blood Moon is definitely off the table here. I think Seal of Fire does deal with Bowmasters. I don't care about Bowmasters. It just pings my stuff and blocks. It's not worth fatal pushing. I think we keep our current configuration. I could Disruptor Flute the actual Doomsday itself, but like they have enough stuff that they can potentially stop it, and we can just get them low in life instead. With those Tamios in there, I am kind of thinking that we do bring in a Fatal Push in place of the Seal of Fire. Let's do it. Very minor light touch substitutions here. So we're looking for a hand that beats them down quickly. Or disrupts them. This is a turn 1 Thoughtseize. But we don't have any other actions after that. I mean, we have there's a decent chance we just don't find a land. I don't like this. This is really good. So I'm going to keep this. I will put back a land. I want to put back a bolt. I guess I could put back a Street Wraith. I'll just put back Street Wraith. Okay, I'm going to immediately just Street Wraith, I think, because they do have Bowmasters in their deck. They also have Dark Ritual. I just want to see what I draw. Okay, Bowmasters is great. So I'm going to go ahead and start with a Thoughtseize, and then next turn I can attempt a Bowmasters. I just need to make sure that there's like a hole to be punched here. I'll take their Doomsday, and they have Dark Ritual into Douthie, which is pretty rough, but I have a Bolt, and I can pay for the days. So I just have to pay for days for the rest of the game. But yeah, you don't lead them with Doomsday. Should go without saying, when a deck is named after a card, you stop that card. When you like show and tell, right? It's fine. Douthie, okay. All right, and when I kill this, unfortunately, they will be able to unearth it. Also, my Bolt is going to go into exile instead of going into my graveyard. Mildly annoying. Okay, we drew another Badlands. I'll play it out. I'm going to wait till they go to combat, and then I can kill it, and then they can unearth it. They may cycle this. They could draw another... because their hand is just Unearth, it's no longer Doomsday, Days, Wasteland, One Unknown. Yeah, I'll do this. They could draw a second Days, which would be annoying. I could take this damage, or I could just go ahead and kill it now. If I kill it now, they'll almost certainly waste me. I think I wait to the instep to kill it. That way I get a turn. I'll take the 3, and then that way they can't immediately unearth. Unfortunately, once I put this on the stack, it's going to go back to their main phase. That unearth is so good. I'm just going to go ahead and bolt this now, since they're tapped out. Okay, so Tommy was their draw. Their hand is Unearth Days and a land, or One Unknown, I guess. All right, so we can't Pyro here because they have Days. We can blast. Oh, that land draw is actually pretty good. So I think I wait till begin combat step and then I Pyro. And then they have to unearth again. Yeah, this is tricky. This is not what I'm used to having to fight against when I'm against Doomsday. Yeah, this is fine. If they draw exactly Brainstorm, it's really humiliating here. But yeah, let's go to combat here. Oh, they have the Brainstorm. They were about to Brainstorm. Oh, it's a Ponder? Yeah, I think I just let it go. But then they have a land drop. I'm going to do this now. I just don't want to risk them. Yeah, they'll just be able to regrow it. But then I'll be able to Bowmaster next turn around days. So I did give them information that wasn't going to exist, but I didn't want them to play land and then have Brainstorm in hand. That would have been catastrophic. So they're just going to unearth it right now, I bet. That's fine. And it's the Douthie this time. Unfortunately, I should have wasted... I should have freaking fetched there. That was dumb. Because I could have had another type in my yard. What a lucky draw. Oh, I think we go to their combat and wait. But they could draw a force that they are able to pitch this days to. I think I'm going to just go do it now. Just to reduce the likelihood of them drawing force for days. Because if this goes into exile... Okay, and then we have to wait another turn cycle, hope that they don't have Wasteland, and then we can finally stick the Bowmasters around the days. Oracle's fine. They don't get the card in hand, they just get to look at them. This does block our Bowmaster, but we're going to lock them off of doing stuff, which is more important. But they have their own Bowmasters they could find. So, in a way, it's kind of awkward to cast the first Bowmaster. Let's draw something better. I'm going to chill. And then we have Lightning Bolt if we need it. Gosh, they could draw a Barragoyf here. I'll just take the damage. I don't want to give them a chance to... Like, if I try to kill this in combat... Yeah. I do want to go after the life total here. Sadly. I think it's correct. And I think they may just have a Bowmasters here, unfortunately, by the way that they're presenting. Okay, they didn't bother dazing there. All right, we're going to my turn. Street Wraith. We're pretty far from casting this. It's devastating if they have the Bowmasters, but I can just bolt it. I don't want to wait. Pedal's a pretty bad rip. I will play it out, though. No, I mean, I could draw a DRC, and it'd be beneficial to play it out. I already have 4 card types. I'm just going to go for combat here. I feel like if they had the Bowmasters, they would have used it. So we're actually like kind of low in life here. Like a Merc could definitely kill us here. I don't have good answers to it. That's fine. I can't do anything about that. Now they have a cantrip. They do a Brainstorm. That's fine. Yeah, and they're handily winning the race. They can just hold this back and not even take any damage and sculpt. So we're in a pretty bad position this game. That Unearth was really powerful. The fact that we had to kill Douthie twice. And yeah. Delta. And had I waited, I could have gotten an extra, I could have attempted to do it there. But I think they probably would have gotten the vibe if I wasn't doing anything that I had something like Bowmasters. I do actually have lands that I can fetch here, so I'll play that out. And I'm just going to hold these in case I find a Moonshadow. I will attack. Like, their life total is much more important than mine. If they can kill me through, chipping me with 1 damage every turn, then I deserve to die. My deck is completely failed at that point. All right, we're in. Daisy is completely invalidated, at least. And I don't think they are playing a lot of Force of Wills. I think they took their forces out. So they had 1 force in their entire 75, as far as I can tell, last game. Or in their entire 60. Ugh. I am going to use this because I need a draw. I just can't wait around. I'll look at my top because I can manipulate that. Yeah, I don't want to draw that. I'm going to go fetch right now. Let's come across. I can answer this if I absolutely need to, but I'm hoping that some situation arises where they overextend themselves and I can burn them out. They're 13. They surveil. They keep. Okay, so it might be Merc. Might be a Doomsday. Moonshadow. It's a little too late. Barragoyf. I don't see a world in which we beat this. We have to draw the 1-of Fatal Push. Have we already used it? No. So we could draw it. It's unlikely. Okay, I'll take a damage. I'm really low in life. This Barragoyf is definitely going to kill us here. Yeah, I'm not going to fetch this thing. I'm going to try to max the size of this Moonshadow. Okay. So I have one card left in my deck that I can fetch, I think. Yeah, because the Badlands is exile. There's no real point in playing this out other than to just make it bigger. But I could block 5, 6, and Bolt. That'd be absolute desperation mode. But it might be able to kill it and keep the game going. Unearth only gets up to 3 or up to... Yeah, 3. So I think that's the only Unearth in their deck, though. I'm going to play this out. Might as well play this out. No tactical value in holding it. Moonshadow. All right, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like, we can definitely block it. It's just a question of whether they can do anything about it. And, like, we're going to basically nothing in terms of life and other resources in doing so. We're leaving ourselves vulnerable to death by Thassa's Oracle. It's pretty sad. And they have more. Ponder. They may be trying to find the one of Force of Will, assuming that we would have conceded if we didn't have an answer to this. Okay, they're just attacking with this, which is a little bit of a reprieve. So I am going to throw the token in front of it. So if we block... I want to start by bolting it. See if they can counter that. Because I'll just throw this in front of it and that instead of that. Okay, there we go. It's got 3 damage on it. So I just block and I sacrifice 3 things and it's 4 damage. Even if they can grow it, it'll still die and I can keep my token around. I think it's better than keeping like a petal or a land. All right, so that is right now 3, 5, 6. So I can just sacrifice this and keep a life. Would I rather have a petal or a life? I think I'd rather have a life at this point. Okay, and just to make sure there are creatures... Yeah, I think all the different types are in the yard. Wait, that artifact, did that buff it? No, there were already artifacts in there. So 3, 3. Okay, so this should work. Damage. Okay. I mean, they could just Doomsday from here. They have tons of life now. This is Murktide. There's nothing in my deck that answers Murktide. If it's Murktide, I'll just concede. Good game. Wow, we got beaten by the combo deck in a fair way. To be fair, I think our opponent was an exceptional player, and I'm not surprised they figured out a way to thread the needle once we... their deck is very different from other Doomsday players I've played against. Okay, so we're up against Chris McNasty. We're on the play. This is likely the Felia Warp deck. This hand's fine. I think Bowmaster's pretty good against their deck. Seal of Fire does clear Felia. I'm going to keep this and I'll just do a simple Swamp Thoughtseize open. They mold a 6. Tommy is going to be annoying. If they can clear this, I'll probably have to take removal. They mold a 5. Okay. Well, I hope they're on combo then because we've got a pretty good anti-combo hand here. We are going to need to find a red source for this seal. In the previous iterations of the deck, I had Badlands. Just 4 Badlands and a bunch of fetches. And I decided to put the Swamp in here, but we're kind of getting punished for putting it in here. But I think there might have also been a situation where it benefited us, the fact that we had the basic Swamp. We are definitely more black than we are red. Okay. So we just take the Tomio and their hand doesn't really do anything. They have Daze, which we'll have to play around. They have a Wasteland, which could waste our waste, which will probably be what they do. And then it'll be a few turns before we can deploy the Bowmasters. But yeah, taking Tomio there, pretty important. They can fetch Surveil. If I play the Wasteland out, they may not do that though. Moonshadow. Well, I think I'm going to do that. This is something we can do early on that starts moving the game forward. Unfortunately, if they draw like Felia or something, actually Felia is really bad against this because it always enters with 6 plus -1/-1 counters, regardless. So they can reset it to weakness if they want to. Can they fetch? This is going to be a Surveil, maybe. No, it's just going to be a basic Plains. That's great. So we're already kind of color screwing them just by putting this Wasteland on the table, even though I don't intend to use it. They fetch. Basic Island. Don't be Felia, please. Okay, they found another Tomio. Okay, Badlands. I think we know they have a Wasteland. I could just play this Wasteland out and then put a Bowmasters on the stack, and if they counter it, it grows this. I think that's a fine play. They're unlikely to have Bowmasters of their own. They're a blue-white deck. So I will ping them here, and we'll just attack for 1. And Tomio can create clues, but we have another Bowmaster where that came from. I'm not going to waste my own Wasteland. They do have a daze. I want to respect that. I do want to get this Seal of Fire out as soon as possible to invalidate Felia hitting the table. They have the clue. Right. Petal's great. It grows the army. So I think the play here is we go ahead and just... what do I do? I don't want to waste this. I want to keep it. I do want to double up my Bowmaster to force them to use this, probably. But that gives them efficient mana usage. But if they do counter it, for some reason, it does grow the Moonshadow. What cards do we fear in their deck? They could have Wrath of the Skies, which would be extremely strong against us. I'm going to go ahead and start with this Seal of Fire. Okay, now I can go for Bowmaster. And if Bowmaster resolves, I can ping this and I can also shoot it. And then if they want to try to flip it, it's pretty problematic. I think they may have a force and they would probably force this. Okay, so I think this is pretty simple. I'm just going to hit that. And then I can just use Seal of Fire. Growing my moon. Yeah, they just scooped to that. That felt good. Okay. So they're just a responsible blue-white deck. Blood Mooning isn't going to happen, but Pyroblast is good. I think Fatal Push comes in here. The reason Fatal Push comes in is they most likely have Felia as well. Looking at a recent list from them, they have been playing a lot of... Yeah, it's really just these two cards. They have Mark, which is scary. But like, it's probably... Is it worth bringing in Fatal Push when I already have a whole bunch? I don't think it is. I don't think it's worth bringing these in. So we have Bolts and Seal of Fire to deal with their creatures, and we bring in Pyro. I don't even know that we need these. Yeah, I think we can try it without. Let's do it. Oh, with 61 cards. Hang on. On the draw, I can cut a land. I will cut a Badlands, I guess. I have a low curve. Let's cut a Badlands. I still like the ability to fetch. I don't think the game will go on that long. If the game goes long, we're dead. They have a much better end game than we do. Yeah, like Felia is a great reason to be playing Seal of Fire. Because it's like perfect toughness to die to Seal of Fire. And you might be able to get the Seal of Fire out early, whereas like they don't have stack interaction for it. They may be playing Stifle. Some people have been playing Stifle. Yeah, they're on 4 Stifle according to this, which is so they can stifle the Riddler. But I don't think it's a good enough card, frankly. This hand's fine. It's not spectacular. We will get a card draw here. We have mana, so if like they stifle us repeatedly, it's probably fine. I shouldn't have even cut a land out. It was a mistake to cut a land because they do have Stifle in their deck. I think I want to bait a Stifle if they have it. Yeah, let's see what happens if I cycle this. They could technically stifle that. I don't think they would. They might perceive me as desperately digging for a land when in fact I have an access to lands. Okay, now I definitely want to go for this. Please stifle it. Please stifle it. All right, I've got 2 lands left in my deck. Pretty embarrassing. At this point, I want them to waste me, so I'll get this. I'm going to play this out just so they don't daze my Seal of Fire. I don't think they will. I could just play all these out and then have Bowmasters at the ready around days. I think that's fine, and I can wait on the Seal of Fire. But like, what would I have in my hand? I think we're going to lose this game. Like, we just flooded so hard. They're almost certainly going to brainstorm here. I'm not going to wait. I need to start hitting them. Again, the game gets worse for us the longer it goes on. Okay, brainstorm. I figured that was the case. But they have double island, so they're not presenting white. Also, this is a beautiful, beautiful land from Zendikar. I love this choice of island. It's like the cliffs. Reminds me of like somewhere in, England. All right. Okay, so we'll untap, draw. It's comical. I mean, like, we just don't have a land to fetch with it. But like, this was with me shaving a land. So I'm going to go ahead and go to combat, and I'll hide the fact that I have Seal of Fire. I don't know why, in case they have a 1 mana flesh thing that would not die from normal combat. I'll play the Seal of Fire, but like our deck is not giving us the goods here. And I don't think it was a mulligan. I think like Bowmaster is really strong against their deck, but to draw like 4 more mana sources is pretty embarrassing. Ponder is fine. They may be looking for a white source here, but they'll likely find it and they'll clear the Bowmaster, and all we'll have is this token for our trouble. Okay. So you're telling me there's a chance. They are maybe not going to find a land here. We have a pretty big board presence. They are pretty far away from Wrath of the Skies, but they could plow, but now we still have like a 5 mana or a 5/5 on the table to go with our Bowmaster. Feeling pretty good. All right, please don't draw a fetch. Please do not draw a fetch. They did break their Brainstorm there, so they're not locked anymore. I'm going to go ahead and play this out. I mean, if I draw Moonshadow, yeah, I don't care that this is in my hand. I'm going to go ahead and... Am I going to attack first? I think I do. And I will put this burn on the table. There's 7. We do have bolts that we're drawing to too. Like any bolt is death for them if it resolves. They fetch a 6. Wow. I just can't believe that they had to cast those cantrips. I'm not sure that they had to. They been a plow? Why would you been a plow? I guess they already have a plow. Maybe they have 2 plows. Maybe they're going to wrath here. They wrath. They go to 2 from the seals. Good games. Yeah, I did not expect to win that game after I flooded that hard. We got lucky. All right, we're 2-2 going into the final round. All right. Round 5. We're on the play where we like to be. Opponent last seen on Grixis Control. Which does have the tools to dismantle our deck, but we have a DRC start. I like it. This is a very good hand. They are not generally playing combo. They're a fair gamer. So I think we're probably safe to start with DRC here. It is by far the most powerful play. We could Street Wraith first to see what we draw. I don't hate that. A Bauble would be insane. Okay, second Thoughtseize is probably fine. So I'll go ahead and play this out. And next turn, we can Thoughtseize and try to fill up our graveyard and potentially waste them. We might draw a land, which would be welcome. I would love to double Thoughtseize them next turn while filling up my graveyard and hopefully hitting Delirium. Like, so a fetch, I think, is the best draw in the deck. Okay, they fetch. They Prismatic in, it's kind of sad, but it's a 1-for-1. Tundra. Looks like Grixis or Jeskai Control, most likely. I think they're casting... Oh, Tamio? Yeah, that's fine. I've got a Fatal Push for her. And I will do that. Oh, come on. Give me a land. Oh, that's pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, I could just annihilate their board completely. I don't hate that. Just in case they're playing... Yeah, I think we do this. I think Moonshadow is a little slow. We've already got Nethergoyf. I want to bin it. Moonshadow is like a great turn 1 play. It's not such a great like turn 2, turn 3 play. Let's go ahead and cast this out. We are going to get Delirium here. Do we need this? Instant. I don't really want to draw it. Is this Delirium? Creature, instant. Yeah, if I waste them, it's Delirium. Artifact, land. And this is why I say she's the best creature in Legacy. The best legal creature at the 1-drop level. So we'll go and see what they're drawing here. Ophelia. Okay, I don't want Ophelia to arrive. I'm definitely going to waste here. And I'll hit... And we'll hope to just keep Ophelia off the table. Next turn, we're almost certainly going to just Thoughtseize them unless we get lucky and draw a land or a petal. I would like to get Nethergoyf on the table. Let's see if this is a land. Nope. Look at all the things we've just done. All because of this last. Just ripping into my opponent's mana, ripping into my opponent's offensive. That is not a removal color. I'm very happy to see that. Okay, Ponder. Yeah, and this is basically like the best case scenario is my opponent's like digging around. They might be on Beanstalk here. Generally, blue-green, blue-white, like Bant structure is Beans, but it could be like Uro. I think Beans is the best control engine right now. All right, and again, if we draw land, I'm going to be extremely happy. Even if it's a Wasteland, that'll be fine. It's not what we wanted to see. Sadly, as much as I want to waste them, I think the correct thing is to get the Nethergoyf on the table just to increase the pressure. I'm sorry, as much as I want to Thoughtseize them. Because now they're on like basically a 2-turn clock. Well, yeah, 2-turn clock. The Seal of Fire can help finish them off. If they find a Wasteland, it's pretty bad though. Yeah, we've seen 13 cards. We've only seen 2 of our 21 mana sources. Okay, this is a white source. So that explains why they got the Trop, because they wanted to have 3 colors and they had a basic plains in hand. Please go up to Beanstalk or something dirtily. Okay, what could this be? This is probably just the Felia. Him is nice. So options. If we Thoughtseize, they'll almost certainly just play the Felia out. I think what they're going to try to do is Felia into... yeah, I think it's better to just Seal of Fire here, because they may try to Felia into that other card, but I do want to do this before combat. That's been that. And this way I could, like, in theory, keep the Nethergoyf back as a blocker in case they want to do the thing. But now that we have this in, I don't think we have anything to worry about. I'm just going to go for combat damage. And this could actually hit for 6 if I use the Seal of Fire on them. But I think that'd be crazy considering they're going to play a Felia here. I'm going to try to seal it. And then... Okay, that's fine. So they'll take 3 here. Felia isn't going to arrive this turn cycle. I think they had to pivot because I played the Seal of Fire, so Felia didn't work anymore. Yeah, if they can clear this, then they're kind of out of the woods. But we do have 2 damage on deck. They did just use one of, maybe 6 cheap removal spells. They could have Leyline Binding. So I can just drop another Nethergoyf and keep the pressure going, even if they remove my DRC. Beanstalk, love it. I've never been so happy to see a Beanstalk. This gives us the time we need. Oh no. No, they can't. They don't have the mana to Leyline Bind here. Come on, land. Oh my goodness, deck. Well, I will go ahead and attack. And if they clear this, that's okay because I've got an even bigger threat coming next turn in the form of this Nethergoyf. Let's try it. Hopefully they don't force it. It sucks that these Thoughtseize are rotting my hand. And I think him just shouldn't be in the deck, frankly. I'm going to probably remove it from the deck. I put it in for this version. Okay, so they do get to draw a card. Nethergoyf is countered. If they can find a way to clear this, they may be able to stabilize. I do have Moonshadow coming. Moonshadow could get bumped up by this. It does have evasion. We'll see what happens. Like, this is definitely a turn where they could get the Xander's Lounge and then get cheap Leyline Bindings on us. They're at 4. Yeah, my immediate assessment is like more burn, less hand disruption. I think the Thoughtseizers are fine because they're surgical, but like this game's going to end with them having a whole lot of cards in their hand, I bet. They do have Wrath of the Skies mana now. Murktide is large and in charge. Nothing I can do about that, unfortunately. But Moonshadow will probably kill them before Murktide kills me. So there's that. A Bolt does it. Lots of things do it. Okay. I don't really have a choice here. I'm going to Moonshadow so that when this dies, Moonshadow at least gets bigger. So we do have to attack here. And next turn they're dead to this Moonshadow if they can clear it. But they could absolutely stabilize from here. I have another Moonshadow if they clear this one. That's pretty annoying, and I think I just have to kill it. I'm going to trust that they have some disgusting thing they can do with this. Hopefully they don't have another one, but if they do, they're not going to be able to like warp and trigger. It sucks that puts us farther away from winning, but I have to hope that they don't have removal. Xander's Lounge, do you have the binding? They have the binding. I don't think we're going to win anymore. They can plow one of their own dudes to gain life later if they need to. If they get greedy and drop in life a little bit, like we might be able to get a bolt in. I will drop the Moonshadow here. It's just that they cantrip off that, and I feel confident they're going to find more removal. Pondering. Him is great in this matchup. It just situationally is bad right here. I'm definitely going to keep it in the deck. I'll bring in the Pyroblasts. I'll bring in Blood Moons. That's a slam dunk. Another Beanstalk. Okay, they're not necessarily out of the woods. Like, they could brick. We do have an evasive beat coming. I would just love to draw, like, are they going to hold back out of fear? No, they shouldn't. Okay. I would just love to draw a fetch here. So I could, like, Thoughtseize them. So close. I'll hold that for next turn. Don't have a force. Actually, that if they have a force, it's okay. I just wish I had more mana so I could bolt them. They may be able to draw out of this. Have they seen Bolt? They have seen Bolt. So they know that it's in my range here. Yeah, it's so annoying that we just didn't draw land. We've seen like a lot of our deck. Or even a Petal. A Petal would be fine too. But now they have Hardcast Force up. They do have the ability to put a force on top if they have a fetch. Pondering. Mystic Sanctuary. So good it's banned in Modern, but it's barely even playable in Legacy. Okay, and that's the force. So any card that cantrips and they have force in their hand. Also, they have Hardcast Force. Now we're taking it. We're not dead on board. I would love to draw a land so I could Thoughtseize and then Bolt. Or a Petal. Anything. Like even a Wasteland would be okay because I could waste them and then pass phases and then Bolt them. So frustrating. Let's see what's on top of their deck. It doesn't really matter because they're just going to shuffle here. Okay, they have the force on top. We got it. Holy cow. All right. Every damage mattered. We literally won with them at 0 with us nearly dead on board. Okay, so Pyroblast and Blood Moon are coming in. Fatal Push comes out. Let's think about this. Seal of Fire is very good against Felia. I like the bolts. Fatal Push, like they're probably playing Felia, and that's probably their only Fatal Pushable target other than Tamio. The game might go kind of long, so I like keeping the hymns in. I'm not going to shave any lands. What do we take out? I mean, like, Street Wraith is dead air. Bobble at least, like, draws us a card and puts an interesting type in the yard. I don't know. Like, I'm not wild about Street Wraith. They're not playing Bowmasters. I don't think so. It's not like our Moonshadow is vulnerable where Street Wraith can save it. I think Seal of Fire is... I don't want to take out any Burn. Burn was responsible for our victory there. I will take out some Street Wraiths. And it does make our Moonshadows less good, but I'm not going to take out threats. If we can get a Blood Moon, it's a true coup. This hand is freaking stacked. This is a great hand. Holy cow. We got lots of mana to do stuff with, like a luxurious 2 mana. All right. And these Pyros are going to be really good. Like they stop their win cons. And we can protect stuff. They mulled a 5. They're the fear. They got the fear. I'm going to get the DRC in first. Then I'll Moonshadow. Because DRC can fuel Moonshadow when we Thoughtseize. I say they got the fear, but they may have just gotten bad draws. Like when I play Beanstalk, it seems like no matter how many lands I play, I'll just randomly have to mulligan. Because there's so many colors to manage. Really, like the ideal number of colors is 1. I am going to blast this. I'm going to take a turn off to blast it. I don't want them to get any value. And then next turn I can do stuff. Yeah. All right. No value for you. You kept the hand based off of that being able to dig you out. That is not how it's going to work. And now we can play the Moonshadow first. Then we can fetch, play the DRC. And yeah, but they may have Terminus in their deck. I don't know. I think 2 threats is fine, but I wouldn't want to play out a 3rd threat. Like I'll hold a Nethergoyf if I get it. Pondering. Control is not very well positioned. I haven't been playing a lot of control decks lately just because there's so much freaking aggro. You got Affinity. Now you got this. I I think control's fine against tempo, but it's not good against like non-tempo, like just fair aggro. It's rough. Okay, we got another Moonshadow. I'm gonna go ahead and Moonshadow first. Gosh, they could have Wrath of the Skies. They might be able to go white. I'm tempted to just Thoughtseize just to, and then DRC next turn. That'll still help the Moonshadow grow. I should have gotten the Badlands there, but or the Swamp, but I'll get it next time. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. They could have Veil. That'd be frustrating. They have it. Okay, that's a White Source. I think they're just gonna plow our Moonshadow. That's good. I'd rather them plow that than the DRC. All right, we'll take this Triumph, I guess. That's the only card in their hand other than the Misty. All right. They could just play a giant Merc off the top, but luckily we had the Pyroblast for that. I've been losing to Merc so much lately. Okay, so no unknown, one unknown in hand. That's their hand. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. Baubles are great rip. DRC. Moonshadow. Bobble. Surveil trigger. Yes, stay on top of my deck. That means I don't want to attack yet because I definitely want Bowmasters. It's really good against their deck. We have the mana for it. I'll just bobble them. We'll draw it in their upkeep. That way if we have to shuffle to Pyroblast something, we'll already have it in hand hopefully. Unless they do something end step. They could have Felia or something like that, but Felia will die if she attacks in. All right, their top card is Tamio. Okay. So I don't want to Pyroblast this Tamio because we just outclass it in so many different directions. That is A-okay. They Celestial Purge. So that's a two mana for a 1 mana card. And they're shuffling with a Tamio. Okay, they Surveil. They're Hellbent over there. We're about to draw the best card in the matchup. They've been Felia. I don't even know what they're looking for at this point. It's got to feel terrible. We get to draw before they can draw, so I can freely... Like if they do find a Merc, I can just fight it on the stack. I think Merc is probably the only thing that can save them here, but it can't save them. They could definitely Wrath and just clear this. I'm going to let that go. This Pyroblast is too good. If they find a plow and they use the plow on DRC, that's okay. I'll just untap and put the Bowmaster on the table. They took a land. They must not have found anything satisfactory there. Or they just wanted to make their land drop for turn. I don't want any lands. I'm going to go ahead and draw. I'll fetch in my upkeep. I'm going to go get a Swamp. I just want to reduce the likelihood of drawing lands here. I could have waited to see if I got a Moonshadow, but it's not that big of a deal. Okay, so now Blood Moon would be an insane rip. Seal of Fire. Let's go ahead and go across. They can't have hard cast. I can Seal of Fire to set up my next draw. I think it's fine. That's going to go in my graveyard and I can bring it back next turn. Is that what I want to do? Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, and this comes in. I'll just chill. I have Bowmaster Surprise, Pineapple Surprise, and I have Pyroblast if they do anything too dramatic here. Like Lorien Revealed. I'm actually not sure what they would do here. If they have a cantrip or something. They didn't fetch, so they must have liked their cards. So they found a card they want to keep. Thanos Lounge. Okay, I think they're just going to do the... Oh, what? All right. So I think what they're going to do is like try to put Celestial Purge back on top of their deck. Is my read. Well, I'm going to go ahead and hit them here with this. They don't have... Yeah, I mean, obviously, it would really suck if they found Wrath of the Skies here. But they don't... They're drawing wild here. I want to do as much damage as I can. Nethergoyf. So I think I bring back this Nethergoyf after combat, and then I have a Nethergoyf in my hand ready to go. I'm going to attack with all... And I'm just going to play this one out from hand because I have one in the graveyard, and that way I can keep my Pyroblast up. They're dead on board. They have one card to rule them all. I don't even know what it would be. Yeah, I'll just blast this and then they're dead. Wait, I'm going to let them do it because I'll just hold this. Yeah, sure. I mean, they could Wrath here, but yeah, actually, if they Wrath, that could make things complicated. They'll be very low in life. They would need to fetch to Wrath. Yeah. I mean, it was simple to do it, but I was like, well, it's a brainstorm. I mean, what's the harm? They were dead on board. The correct thing was to absolutely just blast that. It was deterministic, and then I win. Instead, I gave them an out, which wouldn't be blastable. Okay, so that was a 3-2. The deck felt great, except I genuinely don't think these hymns belong. Like, it's just, we never had the mana. I don't know if we hymned the entire time. So if you take out the hymns, that gives you a little more room. I did like the Nethergoyfs a lot. I actually, in some of my previous experiments, I had played with 8 bubbles, and I don't think that's necessary. I think Moonshadow is good enough without it, but I do think you need to play Street Wraith and cards like Seal of Fire to really make her good enough. Nethergoyf was great as usual. What else would I say about this? I mean, Fatal Push is pretty good, but we do have the bolts. I think this is enough removal. We could put another land in. Like, there were definitely times like I got flooded, but at the same time, I was like, I mean, so many times I felt like I just wasn't getting the cards I needed. I think the real thing that we should consider doing is probably adding Barragoyf to the sideboard. In longer games, it can be a good way to win that outclasses a lot of other options. Disruptor Flute felt kind of clunky. I feel like against show and tell and decks like that, you maybe just want to kill them instead. So that could come out. Blood Moon could absolutely be price for progress, but I think Blood Moon is just so strong. But price for progress kills instantly against like Eldrazi and stuff. Yeah, I think, and we're so low mana that I think price of progress probably makes more sense. Because if you're going to bring in Blood Moon, like obviously they're playing a ton of non-basics, so price is probably better. Seal of Fire was pretty reasonable the entire time. The fact that it buffs Goyf, I think this could be a 3 of. I would rather draw this in most cases than drawing Fatal Push. It could be that Hymn is a sideboard card, that we do want Hymns, but we just want it in the sideboard. And then I think we could potentially add a Surveil land. I don't like playing Surveil lands in just all-out like assault decks like this one, but it is pretty good. By the way, a lot of people request other Hymn art. This is my favorite Hymn art. I'm a huge Quinn and Hoover stan, but like I definitely see the merit of the other ones. But unfortunately, this is the only one that's available to me on MTGO, like with my creator plan. Daybreak Games gives me a special account that allows me to like playtest, different cards like Moonshadow and stuff. A lot of times I just end up using my own account because I can like actually get tickets and stuff, and I can't participate in all the events. But I just wanted to explain to everybody who's holding out for me to use like the wolf art or the ladies chanting around the table or something like that. I wish I could use those, but those aren't available on MTGO. This is, for me, this is also why you will never see me play with Triumph of St. Catherine or Toxic Crane, which are both excellent cards from the Warhammer set that unfortunately I just don't have access to. So aside from that, we're still looking to fill 2 slots. I mean, you could put the Surveil land in. The Surveil land does... What is it called? It's called Raucous Theater. I have no idea how to pronounce or how to spell Raucous. Let's see if I got it right. All right, so we added Raucous Theater, and the other card that I think we could consider adding, maybe instead of the second Seal of Fire or the third Seal of Fire, is just a Douthie or 2. Douthie is like randomly really good, and it is a win con, and it can help you get across the finish line if your opponent gets like a bunch of blockers out. And it is something that we can easily cast in this deck. And I think like probably 6 2-drops is plenty. I don't really want to go above that, but I think it's better than him in the main deck anyway. So you can absolutely season this to taste, but I will say that this is a different deck than like Mono Black. Adding the red is non-trivial in terms of increasing the power of the deck. I think playing a Mono Black version, you just don't get access to DRC, which is the fastest way to get your Moonshadows totally leveled up. And Bolt is exceptional, as we saw there that round against Beanstalk where they had exactly 3 life and we were able to bolt them. It was pretty sick. So this is where I'm going to leave it. I feel like there's definitely like a list here that is going to become one of the best aggro decks in the format. That's my theory. Moonshadow and DRC are just too synergistic. The fact that Nethergoyf and Moonshadow benefit from the same, putting things into the graveyard, gameplay patterns. Street Wraith was just convenient. We never cast him. We could, in theory, hard cast him. I think that's a reason to put it in the deck because some of those games did go really long, and having a 3/4 with Swamp Walk could have made the difference in some of them. The most interesting games were the ones we actually lost against Doomsday. Like I think it was game 3. That was really cool. Like the things they were doing to stay alive, and it was. And I'm not sure. I always like games where I'm not sure exactly where things fell off the rails and where I lost, because I feel like those are the games where I'm the most out of my depth, and that's where the real learning happens. So I'm gonna watch that match again and see if there was something different I could have done. Granted, like you have a lot less agency with a deck like this than you do with like a Brainstorm Ponder deck, but there are still a lot of strategic decisions you can make in terms of sequencing, in terms of like how you do things. I think like on a whole, my mono black deck is like way more strategic than this is. I think this, like to some extent, it does play itself. Like, okay, I've got the DRC. Like there are probably a few heuristics, like always lead with DRC. Unless, I'm trying to think of a reason why you would ever lead with Moonshadow over DRC, but there might be some. And then always lead with Moonshadow and then play with another Nethergoyf later would be another heuristic that I'm kind of picking up. Thoughtseize after you have your DRC out, you can play your petals to trigger DRC, but then hold them for the subsequent turn if you know you're going to be drawing a Moonshadow. Like little things like that come up, and I feel like with some practice I'll get pretty steady with those. The other card we could consider playing is, instead of him and Fatal Push, I think it's really good right now, is Snuff Out, but it is really hard on the life. But Snuff Out is so good against Nethergoyf, or against Murktide. So like I kind of think that if we do that, we diversify our threats a little bit. Snuff is also really good against Tomio. It's really good against everything except like if you're going up against a mono black deck. Like I would even consider bringing it in against Murktide, because one of the things I find is like you are very close to winning and then suddenly boom, Murktide hits the table and you can't attack in, and there's like slightly favorable in terms of attacking you. So yeah, I think I would probably play the Snuff Outs in the side instead. So the main question is, let's say we're up against a fair green-black deck like Cradle Control, which I play constantly. I think it's one of the most played decks. Would we rather have him, which is really good against combo, or really, this is just a good against control, in my opinion. I almost feel like we should take these out and we should just Fatal Push. And then what we're doing is we're morphing into like the ultimate like creature killing machine. In the post-board games, we take out the Thoughtseizes against aggro decks like Eldrazi and stuff, and suddenly we're able to clear more of their creatures. You could like look into Chain Lightning and stuff like that, but I feel like Seal of Fire, 2 damage for 1 red mana is reasonable. I don't know how many more thoughts I have on the list. I'm going to definitely keep playtesting with it, but again, I like this more stable, less explosive version that's only playing the 4 baubles instead of the 8s, because once you start playing like 12... air cards that replace themselves, it becomes a lot harder to mulligan. Like you have a lot more difficulty figuring out how you want to go about your mulligans. But on a whole, I'd say this is a very fun list. If you have access to 4 Badlands, I would consider shuffling this up. Also, Moonshadow, I think, is still like a $20, $30 card. Hopefully that'll come down a little bit, but it is good. I mean, it is a good card. I don't think it's just going to completely fade into obscurity like Katara, for example. I haven't seen Katara in like maybe 2 months. There was all that initial buzz and then it just died down. I don't think Moonshadow is one of those cards. I think Moonshadow will see play like Nethergoyf is for some time to come. Until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.